Hello, everyone. Today we're talking about an important subject of multicultural workspaces. Our special guest today is Maya Moghadam, and we all know her as a talented Austin interior designer who came here all the way from Iran to pursue her American dream. And we decided to take some time apart, and instead of talking of her career as a designer, today we're going to focus on her experience as an immigrant and as a person of a different culture joining the American academic system and the workforce. Hello, Maya. How are you doing today?
Hey, all good. I'm so glad that I'm here. I'm doing great. Thank you.
Um, I wanted to ask you, let's start from the very beginning. So you came to America from all the way from Iran. That's a big journey and a big transition. Why did you decide to do that?
Always, I had a dream that get my second master as an interior design master, and one of my friend actually helped me, and we did all of the process, and everything happened in less than a month and a half. That was a big surprise for me, and the dream was big. I'm gonna get my second master. It's gonna be happen this one, that one. And usually we are, I can tell from my side, as a Middle Eastern, watching all of the TV series, all of the movies, everything is so exciting, everything, the ladder is going up and up, and all of the dreams. And I moved August 2017 in the US, and I started to study. The first pressure for me, that was the language. I thought I can talk in English. I used to talk in English. I used to travel around the world, no issues in my interview. Everything was great, but as soon as I moved, I feel like, I cannot talk. Who am I? What I was thinking, am I okay? Even can I stay at the school, and a lot of pressure, and it's a lot of presentation all the time at the school. And sometimes I wasn't even enough confident to be able to talk. That was a huge. I was just sometimes watching the other people can talk in English and just look at them and say, is there any way that I can talk same as them? Is it possible? And that was a really huge gap for me to be able to move back to who I am, be able to talk, get back my confidence and just build it. And then I graduated. Before that, I was just working in at a school in a different areas at the schools, with the people that they know me, and I was confident. But after that, just going to the new environment, and I moved from Atlanta, Georgia, to Austin for the first job, and that was different. uh, Texan, they have a different cultures from Georgia, and everything that was different, and I had to build up everything from the first step and just be able to learn about the different people. And as an international, always when we wanted to be succeed and see what's going on, usually we became, in my experience and most of the friends that I know, I became completely silent. I wanted to just observe as much as I can to be able to be perfect at my job, which is leads me, they feel like I'm not enough good. And after 2 weeks,
Mhm.
without any explanation, anything, they told me the culture is not working. But that was great.
They just said
Yeah.
just that. Wow.
Yeah, just that. And I was just wondering what's going on, and just some excuses that never really meant even anything. After 2 weeks, how you can really recognize who I am and what I'm capable to. After 12 years professional experiences in Iran, 2 masters, being a GPA 4, all of those give time to us to be able to show ourselves, and all of those. And that was a great. I met actually the office manager of that office in one of my events, IIDA events for interior design. Actually, it's a international interior designers event. And that was great. I just started to talk to her. I said, do you know me? Do you remember me? I said, yeah, I remember. I said, that was the hardest time in my life. That always that time I remember when I was just completely lost my confidence. Am I good enough? Am I interior designer? Can I do anything? All of those. I was just sitting and said, I know one day I'm gonna share these stories with everyone and say, It's not about you guys. It's not about how somebody treat you. It's about yourself to just capable to see the big pictures, and what is another plan for us. I believe as a, I'm a believer, and I believe all the time there's a big picture that God wants to just put us in that position, and that time probably that job wasn't the right fit for me. And my story, I want to just say it, it happened to a lot of people. It's not just about international. Sometimes I see even from the other states. And yeah, it's happening.
That's so true that not only us immigrants who are suffering, because there are so many. America is one of the most multicultural countries in the world. It's a country of immigrants, it's a country of great workforce mobility. People move from state to state, from city to city all the time. And you hardly ever meet someone in a workplace who is of the same origins as you are. So I think it's this
Yeah.
conversation is relevant to many of us. And so, wow, just I'm still processing this thought of how they told you that the culture is not working without giving you, more context, because that's a very Kafkaesque kind of objection to you being part of the team, because they don't explain what you should work on. They don't explain what makes them uncomfortable, or maybe they are intimidated. We don't know. And that's probably one thought for our viewers. If you are in a company with people who come from different cultures and there is something that's a deal breaker for you, please let them know. So maybe they can avoid it next
Right.
time, or maybe they can easily fix it. So don't just play hide and seek.
Exactly. And just give it time, as an international, as an immigrant, as from the other state, all of us need to observe at least for a month to see what's going on. And then we can show our abilities, our talents, it cannot be happen in a week or 2 weeks. It's just a lot.
Yeah, I agree. And you mentioned problems with language. That's very typical of all immigrants, regardless of their level of English, I'd say, because people who come here without any command of English, they don't have any expectations of succeeding without learning it first. But a lot of us come here thinking, oh, I got straight A's in my English class, so I'm going to be able to handle it. My textbook was so
Yeah.
easy. And then you try to order something at Burger King and you don't
And
understand what they're
completely.
asking you over the counter, and you're like, could you please be so kind as to repeat what you just
Yeah. The hardest one is a Starbucks
said?
always, "What is that? What I wanna
I
order?"
know. I know, just give me something, just give me something with caffeine, I don't care. Don't
Anything,
ask
just
me any
give it to
questions.
me. Leave me alone.
I know.
Yeah.
And here comes my second question. Apart from language, what are other challenges when you came here and you started working in the American job market? What were other challenges apart from language?
I feel like the cultures, being homesick, being alone in the other countries without the family support, close friend support, and everything as a single person, it's all on us. And I know a lot of people, they're same as me, or even as a having a partners, and still it's two people or one people at just doing everything in their lives, which is not easy when we are in their own country, or we are in our own hometown. It's a lot of support. At least we know which street we're going to go, where is our grocery shopping. It's
Mm.
all the pressure that somebody just have it by themselves, and then they're going to the American companies that most of the people already settled, and they don't really recognize what's the problem as some person to just move to the new city. We are still dealing with contacting, to the, I don't know, utilities, the play, the tax, all of these things. And the American places, I feel like the cultures is different. And for the international people who are just moved, they needed to just understand us a little more. And it's here for I'm just saying about myself and my culture. We are just more doing everything by ourselves. We're not a really good, how should I say, team players. But Americans are great team players. They train to be that way. But we're good learners too. We're gonna learn.
Yeah,
Just give us a
and I
little
think
time.
I agree. A lot of I come from a culture. I'm from Ukraine, and I come from a culture where um, you always rely on yourself. And of course, there is a community, but we are self starters, and you take accountability for everything. While in America, I noticed that people learn to share both duties and responsibilities, and any project gets broken down into smaller pieces and um, delegated. And so I think that's something that a lot of immigrants should still work on, because they take accountability for the project from start to finish, which is talking about your business. A little side note, you do more than other interior designers. Is it right?
Yes. Yeah, I try
You,
to do everything A to Z. Usually the interior designer, they didn't provide, all A to Z, and they're just connecting with the other companies or just ask them to do the other part. Just focus on the interior design, and just drafting and all of those. But I do love to do everything.
yeah, see, that's where it shows. Um, that so now you have your own company, and you don't work for someone else. You work for yourself, and you have your own client base, and you have your own contractors. Would you say that the same challenges you faced when you came and you worked for someone else, if they're translating into challenges with your customers or contractors, or is it a different set of challenges?
Although I feel like, the challenges could be even the same. We are still dealing with some difficult clients, some easier clients, some different cultures, but I feel like in meantime, during the last 5 years that I was in the US, I just learned better to react better. I want to just say it's all based on the training, based on the confidence, based on how we can train ourselves to deal with the challenges. This is the
Mhm.
main thing that I really love to talk with everyone. It really depends on how you look at the difficulties, how just make you growth instead of just start to questioning yourself and say, oh, something should be wrong on me that they laid me off, or they didn't give me that job, or it didn't work out with that client, or that problem happens. No, we are just living in a really crazy time. Just be honest. After COVID, a lot
Mhm.
of things going on, a lot of anxiety going on, and it really depends on at the end of the day how everyone face what's going on, how I can manage myself and pivot to the better situation and learn from that problems. I feel like everything has a bigger plan. We needed to just look at it, and if some difficulties, some challenges, some problems happen, how it can make me to be a better, business owner, or be better employee, or anything in our lives, better partner, because it taught me that situation, and probably that was a way to make me to be a bigger, person.
Yeah, I love it that you said that. It's very fair that you should always learn, because you can't come to different cultures as an adult and expect to know everything. You should be open to learning from scratch and absorbing new information and learning from people and adapting a lot. So that's, I guess, where the resiliency comes from. I wanted to ask you about the good side. So, what are the benefits of being a foreigner, an immigrant, when you come to America? What played to your advantage when you started?
I can tell from my shoes, that was amazing for me actually. When I moved to Georgia, that was a huge Iranian community, as the name of it's Kanun. And I remember, I lost my confidence to be able to talk in front of the other people in English, but I was okay still in my language. And I remember I asked them to just have some sort of the presentation that I can just present myself, who I am, where I'm come from, what is my expertise, and I explained there, and I got my first clients, I remember, and I'm still working with her. She's one of my best, client. And after 3 years, no, after 5 years, actually, we are still working. I'm still working so far, and that was an amazing opportunity to get back my confidence, it's to start to build it step by step, or just even as a fitness trainer, I started to teach some of the students, in their apartments, make some money and just work, all of those. I feel like for me, that was an amazing opportunity to be able to just get back who is my expertise and who is my, places to give back. I don't know how exactly say it, because as an immigrant, the first year it's hard. It's super hard. It's a lot to deal, and it just all of these steps makes me, in a different way to be able to get back, say, yeah, I'm capable to talk in front of the people again. I can just talk, do
Mhm.
my job. I'm an interior designer. It doesn't matter what part of the board I studied or work, and got my experiences. For me, that was an amazing opportunity.
Mhm. Well, I'm glad to hear that. You found the silver lining and you played your strengths to your advantage, regardless of all the challenges that we are all facing when we are, plunging into a completely new environment and we don't understand everything and we have this culture shock. So
Yeah.
good for you.
Thank you.
And yeah, I think it's very inspiring, and I'm happy to have a platform to give voice to this kind of stories, because a lot of times, especially after the pandemic, we hear a lot of sad stories. And yesterday was 9/11, so it was a sad moment, and we love to give people hope that there is the good part in the world, for all of us. And
Actually,
jump into yeah, go ahead.
I love to just thank you when we were talking about this subject, and I feel like that's amazing to people see. It's life is up and down. Don't see to the place that you are right now, and just hopefully this story gonna be devotional to some people that all of us are dealing in somehow.
Absolutely. And a lot of women in our community are immigrants, and they came to America as children or as teenagers or as adults, and they're going through all the same things, and they just need to hear this, because a lot of times they feel like they just should give up. They're never going to rise again the way they did back home, but they should just keep pushing and try to be more flexible. And actually, I wanted to ask you if you have some tips for staying positive when you come to a new country and everything is different, and it looks like your skills are no match for the local skills and your language is kind of shaky. So, what helped you have the positive attitude?
For me, my personal things is a face, it helped me a lot. I had a great mentors, teachers to just look at them, believe me, and understand me and say, it's gonna be a pass. It depends on how you can be faithful, and believe that everything is gonna be okay. I can do it, And that was the amazing strength for me, I my situation is a little different, I if I didn't have that phase, probably I would get back even in Iran, And in somehow, after losing the first job with no reason, second job, no reason, I want to say, I'm gonna get back to my hometown. I'm welcome there. But based on some of the other stories for my face, I couldn't get back, But that phase actually started to build me, and just give me enough strength, with the prayers every single day and ask the other people to come and pray with me, and made me completely different person. And to be honest, I would never imagine myself to become a business owner again, and just God put me through the different stories in my life and different places. And at the end, all of my clients say, why you don't have your company? Why you're working for someone else? This is all you. And just put me in a, situation and said, oh, I'm a business owner, And I feel like that was all up and down that God wants to give me enough strength, to be able to get back, being a business owner. And this is his business, even during a pandemic, I had enough clients, and always there's this just based on the word of mouth, and he's taking care of me. For me, the big key is place.
Thank you for sharing that. I think
Of course.
it's not easy, and people have different beliefs, different religions. Some people are not religious, but I think for both people who believe and for people who are atheists, it's important to have that moment with yourself, the moment of mindfulness. If it's a prayer, it's a prayer. If it's just meditation and some spiritual practices where you can just be with yourself and not rush, not try to push the situation, but try to listen to yourself and seek guidance, whether from your mentors, from anything that you hold dear and important. That's a lot of help, and I really
That's
appreciate that you shared that.
Of course, church was the only thing that helps me, being Christian, being around the nice people, and just say, it's gonna be okay. Just
Hmm.
that was amazing.
Yeah, it's comforting to hear. And could you maybe take a step back from being in the shoes of an immigrant and look at it from the perspective of local people who are hiring people from other cultures or who are working with clients or contractors, anyone who comes from a different culture? What would be your advice how to make this communication easier, more comfortable, and maybe remove some tension and friction and fear when it comes to dealing with other people you don't know much about?
Um, there is probably more than one story that I can tell about that. As an employer, if they want to hire someone who is an international or immigrant or the other things, going on, just be patient. Give them a time that they can just blend themselves in the situation, and be able to show their strengths. That was a resume. That was the background. You did all of your interviews, and they know that that person is capable to do everything, just give it time, be patient, give them a time, at least a month, and try to be nice and kind and not be that much pushy when you start to work with someone. I remember in the library that I was working, my supervisor, he was an amazing person. Anytime that I feel like I cannot even talk, he said, Maya, there's a reason that I hired you. You can talk, and make me to talk with the other people. He was super encouraging, but I'm just asking, please, as an employer, if you hire some international immigrants, just be patient with them. You already see something, some strengths to hire them. And the other thing is about the clients, it's a different story, but it really matters to hear people. I feel like we needed to have enough time to let people talk, share their feelings, what they're looking, what they want, what is their um, bad experiences that they have with the other people, And when we get to know a little more people, they're lovely. And people are people around the world. Before I moved into US, I was just feeling, people are different in my country, on the other country, and the other country. At the end of the day, people are people. And we love attentions. We love to just feel like somebody heard us, somebody pay attention to what we want. And then we're gonna just boom in and show our feeling and our love, and everything. It just be respectful, be patient, and hear people. We love to just listen and give you compliment as much as you can. It's really helpful.
Yeah, people are
Something
very
meaningful. Everyone
motivated by
has a beautiful
praise.
thing. Yeah. What?
Yeah, focus on the positive and compliment
Yeah,
the
exactly.
achievements instead of just drilling onto the failures and maybe
Exactly.
that they are not catching up so quickly, or maybe if they're doing things differently from what they used to. Because Other
Exactly.
cultures bring other benefits, and if you have an open mind, you can leverage all the opportunities that come with that diversity in your workplace.
Exactly.
And my bonus tips would be so say I'm an immigrant, which I am, who just came to America and my language is so, and I want to start working. Like, what would be the main tips or don'ts or do's for people who are just starting and they don't know where to begin?
Um, my suggestion would be just to start to learn, it doesn't it's it's my belief. I don't want to everyone have a different story. If that was me, I would love all the time to just learn something about, for example, if I'm expertise in my country, just go and get some courses in the other countries. Don't just rely on who you are. Every workspaces, cultures, places are a little different. Just go and get some courses. And this is the amazing place that you can show your strengths, and see, oh, okay, I'm good in this country and this place and what again, and then start to work even. I just feel like, somebody who is young, they don't have that much expertise, probably 5 or 10 years at the most, and they just move to the other countries. I'm not talking about someone who immigrate, moved from the other state to, Texas. I'm not talking about that.
Mhm.
Just more and more, far further than, Texas. And just learn a little bit about that one and build up your strengths, get back your confidence. And this is the best place to be in the education part, to build up your English, and learn about it and be around people. Find a community. Community is the most important part. Find the right community. As a believer, if you're going to the church or any places that it's right for you, go and be involved, and step by step, be patient. You're gonna go upper, in the ladders. Just patient, I think. Did I respond
Yeah,
your question? Okay.
yeah, I think we can take all day because from experiences that we've had, there are a lot of things that we can share. And I agree about the community. The one thing I would recommend, try not to stick with your cultural community all the time, because
Exactly.
I see it a lot in our community. When you come to a new place, you tend to find people who speak your mother tongue, who share your traditions. And some immigrants tend to spend like 20 years in America without ever learning English, without ever making any new friendship outside of their cultural group. I think it's an artificial isolation, and it doesn't really help you to achieve your goals when you move to this beautiful, amazing pool of talent, opportunities, cultures, and you're just trying to stick within the familiar comfort zone. So
I'm so glad
that
that
would
you
be.
said that. I'm so glad. It's
Yeah, I
it's
don't
a
know
key.
how big the Iranian community is in Austin, but a lot of people from former Soviet countries are here, and it's very easy to find a local dentist or hairstylist who speak your language and never have to step out. I strongly recommend not to do that. Try to mix
Yeah,
and match.
that was a
Yeah.
recommendation. Actually, my first client that I was telling you the story, her husband told me. I remember the first he said, just my ignore, don't be in Iranian community and just make yourself as much as you can in American, and some people just tell me you are here for only, that much year, because I feel like after the first year, I completely start to just be 100% in an English community. And it helps a lot for me. I don't know why my AirPod is not staying in my ears and it's just going fall all the time. Yeah,
It's
be
all the
patient, Maya.
excitement.
It's teaching me
Well,
to be
I
patient.
can hear you anyways, whether it's in or out.
Awesome.
And the last thing, since we're talking about cultures, maybe you can share. It might be a very surprising question, but could you share something, like one thing that you love about Iranian culture and one thing you would like to share with Americans that they should know about your culture?
Iranians are so welcome. and they trust so easily, which is so weird sometimes when I'm sharing with my American friends the way that we trust each other. It's so odd. I can tell, But I feel like the warmness, we love to invite people and be a little more closure. This is the Iranian team. We
Hmm.
became friends instead of be completely professional. And sometimes even we are forgetting about the boundaries, and I'm working a lot on it to learn it. But this is about Iranians. We became just so close.
Oh yeah, very hospitable culture. I had the
Thank
pleasure of knowing several people from Iran, and one
you.
amazing thing is the food. It's probably the most delicious and complicatedly made food in the world. So whoever
Yeah.
doesn't know, Iranian Persian food is amazing. So I know Maya doesn't want to share because then it will be like, Maya, cook for us. So didn't want to put you
Yes, please,
on the
no.
spot.
Sorry, but no, sorry, no, it's too much work.
Yeah, I can imagine. I heard that some dishes take like 3 days to make. Like you put
Mhm.
them in the warm place, then the cold place, then I don't know in what place, like in
Yeah.
some other place, and it's like a whole different story.
Yeah,
All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing.
of course.
I feel like it was such an honest, such a deep discussion,
Yeah,
and I really appreciate that you
of course.
decided to share it. I know how hard it was because it was a lot of heartbreak and fear and struggle coming from all of this transition, and you did it brilliantly. So I do appreciate that you wanted to go
Of
back and talk
course.
about those things.
Of course. My
And
pleasure. I would love to talk about like things, I feel like it's gonna be really devotional to a lot of people. These stories makes me, to just pass through that problems, and hopefully this story is gonna help the other people.
yeah, and we're going to publish it in writing in our digest too. So whoever couldn't watch the video or the recording, you can always read it soon in our digest. And what's the best way to get in contact with you if people want to ask you about interior design or about your culture or immigrant advice or anything?
Of course, we are trying to be really supportive to the messages. There is a different way. You can text us 512-661-6154 or 404-519-5161. On the website, there is a live chat that we are responding so fast. On Instagram, that I'm getting a lot of messages these days. If I'm a little late because we are not getting a notification for the people who are not, we don't follow.
Yeah.
But I'm trying to just check it out at least twice a day. And yeah, I would love to hear from
Okay.
everyone and just share any stories or work stories. All I'm happy, more than happy.
Thank you so much. And good luck
Thank
with
you,
your
Olga.
future project. And thank you for sharing and for educating our community.
Of course. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
Yeah. You too.